Hello, I'm doing a book review, and the book I want to review is Deep Within by Charles Day. Now, Deep Within was published in 2013. Now, Charles Day, I believe, is also the co-founder of Evil Jester Press, which is a publishing company that actually published quite a few of Mark Allen Gunnell's books. Mark Allen Gunnell is an author whose books I've reviewed before on this channel. Now, this book was actually sold to me by the author Charles Day. I actually met him at a convention, and I went up to him mainly because I was already familiar with Evil Jester because of Mark Allen Gunnell, so I went up to him and he sold me both a copy of this book and a copy of another book of his called Hunt for the Ghoulish Bartender, which I haven't read yet, but I do plan on reading this at some point in the future. Now, the plot of Deep Within is it follows this psychiatrist named Steve Evans, who's called by a friend of his to this psychiatric hospital in upstate New York to look at this patient. Now, this patient is somebody who was once normal, but has seemed to have gone insane out of nowhere, and while he was in the hospital, three people very close to him all died, all from the same thing. They all died from what appeared to be some kind of heart attack, and Steve, he goes to see this patient, and the patient attacks him and bites him, and afterwards he has this nightmare about a werewolf-like creature, and later on this patient starts to miraculously recover, and, then he hypnotizes this patient and finds out that, this patient apparently saw this same werewolf-like creature that he saw in his dream, and of course he finds this to be very weird, but later on somebody who bullied him when he was a child ends up getting killed the same way that these three people who were close to this patient also got killed, and that's really all I want to say about the plot line of the book. I really don't want to give too much away. All I'm gonna say is that there's some kind of creature going around now, and it all has something to do with this one patient who he meets at the hospital. Now, I really enjoyed Deep Within. I thought it was a lot of fun. Like, to me this book almost struck me as kind of like the literary equivalent of a B-movie. Like, it felt like a B-movie in book form, which I thought was really cool. Like, I thought it was a very fun read. Now, honestly, some of my favorite parts of this book are actually the parts that deal with this crime family that, the main character knows. Like, in the book, you find out that the main character, when he was a child, was bullied by these two brothers who are part of a family that's associated with the mafia, and, now they're harassing Steve again because they want him to do something for their father, and honestly, those characters were, honestly, probably my favorite characters in the book, even though they weren't necessarily good people. I thought the characters were very entertaining, and honestly, all the stuff in the book dealing with the crime family, I actually thought was really interesting and really entertaining, and I actually really liked those characters, even though they were basically villains in the story, like kind of like the human villains of the story. I still really enjoyed that aspect of the book. Now, my only real complaint about this book is I noticed that there were quite a few typos in the book, which, to be fair though, I've read books by mainstream best-selling authors which also have had a lot of typos in them, and in cases like that, I really don't know if I could blame the authors so much as the editors, because I believe that's what editors are for, but, I did notice quite a few typos in the story, which I found to be a little distracting, but overall I was able to look past them, and I still enjoyed the overall story. What's funny, though, is even though I haven't read this book yet, Hunt for the Ghoulish Bartender, I was flipping through it and I didn't notice any typos or anything when I was flipping through this book. Now, one thing that's kind of cool is the hospital on the cover here. This is actually a picture of Kings Park Psychiatric Hospital, which is a real hospital on Long Island, which is where I live, and the author of this book, Charles Day, is also from Long Island. Now, the hospital in the book is called Moose Hill, and I'm pretty sure it's a fictional hospital. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it's fictional, but yeah, the hospital on the cover, though, is actually a real psychiatric hospital, which I think most of it is abandoned now. But yeah, that's my review on Deep Within by Charles Day. I definitely recommend this if you can find a copy of it. I'm pretty sure you can order a copy of this off Amazon, and I think it's also available in ebook form to download on the Kindle. But yeah, I would definitely recommend this. Once again, I had a few issues with all the typos that are in the story, but I was able to look past that, and overall, I definitely enjoyed the book, and I could definitely recommend it. So yeah, that's my review on Deep Within, and bye.